WRPB and WRPB Studios. So the pretty lady next to me decided at some point in time to get into a field that is dominated with men. And we're going to talk about that now. With me is Patty Meltzer, PLM Construction.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about how long you've been around the construction industry.
I started working for my father when I was 24, so I'll be 54 this year, so 30 years.
Okay, so did you get into it because of your dad?
I got into it because he offered me a $10 an hour job for 40 hours a week, which I thought was awesome back then, and it was an easy job. So that's how I got into it, being his secretary, working in the office for him.
Okay, so you're in construction. It's so male dominated. What's it like?
Um, it's okay. It's challenging at times, but I have a good sense of humor. So, it took me 4 years of working with my father to kind of get a good grip of the industry and how things work. And, I get,
Catcalls?
yeah, sometimes. But, I listen, if you get the job done and you get it right and get
Right.
it on time and within budget, I don't care what you call me. Just get the job. It doesn't phase me. So I'm pretty confident. So,
All right. So did you
but
get, go ahead, I'm sorry.
no, I would say most of my guys I've been with for, 10, 15 years, and I get good respect from them. They know what I'm doing. So
And who signs the checks?
I do.
There you go.
That's
Okay.
exactly right. And they know that.
You're
And
right.
I sign my checks on time, which is a big deal in construction.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah,
without a doubt.
yeah.
So did you? Why did you get into this? I mean, I know your dad gave you
Um,
$10 an hour, but that just put you basically indirectly in the field. But
mhm,
now you're in the field in the field.
right. That's a great question. So I originally just got into it for the money, and the more I got involved into it, the more I really liked watching, a piece of land go from nothing to an actual completed home, and getting to work with homeowners and seeing that dream come true and how excited they are at the end project. I don't know, I had kind of a feel for it, and my father slowly integrated me into the construction part of it. Like I first was involved of, payables, and then design, and then electric. That was my big first thing, is walking through each house, doing the electric with each homeowner. Where do you want your switches? What light, outlet do you want to have in this location? Things like that. And I don't know, I just kind of took to it, and I'm kind of a go-getter with it. And within 4 years, I had my dad's company in two projects, and we had three models, and I was the youngest member of the Home Builders Association
Uh,
in Sarasota County, which is where we started.
did,
So
did you pick up a hammer?
I have picked up hammers, I have swept out homes, shovels, I've put silt fences in, I've been on roofs, climbed ladders. I have done everything I've needed to do. And then when my father, he retired 4 years later, I was 28, and I had several builders ask me to go work for them to sell their homes, because I was a pretty good salesperson, because I knew what I was doing and I believed in what I was doing,
Right.
and I enjoyed what I was doing. And I said okay, so I did work for a builder, and I did say, listen, I can do this on my own. So I'm just giving you full disclosure. I'll work for you for a couple of months to do what I need to do, but my goal is to start my own company. And within, like, I want to say 4 or 5 months, I had my first contract, and I built 10 homes that year.
Wow.
So
So did you get family support when you decided to go into this field?
So my father, who had a CGC license, qualified my company at the time, which worked out well because I was able to keep him still in the, business and the industry. And he was
Right.
always a phone call away, and he was a very good mentor of mine. Um, yeah, that was about it, really. So I was 28 when I started my own company, and at the same time, I had a daughter. Um, I had was getting divorced, so I had moved out, and so I had my daughter Madison, and so it was all a lot going on, in 1999. That's literally how long ago it was, and so I kind of had to pull my boots up, with straps, and say, I got to make this work, because I have a little girl, to support, and I have to make this work. So That her really was my biggest motivation, was like, I have to be successful because I have a little girl, to support. So,
Okay, so that was 1989. So she's already an adult.
yes. Hmm.
What field is she deciding to go into?
Well, she works for me now.
Okay. Uh, and for me, I think there's nothing greater than a company that is a family company.
Hmm.
When I started this, I thought that my daughter would take it over,
Hmm.
but she surely doesn't need this. She doesn't like Florida.
Hmm.
Too flat for her and too warm. She lives in D.C. She actually travels between D.C. and Napa. And she doesn't need this. And she went to 4 years of college and ended up doing real estate like I did. Well, I
Hmm.
did real estate for 35 years. So I did commercial real estate for 35 years. But it's interesting how we see things. Now, I wasn't a single dad, but I still was concerned about my daughter,
Hmm.
okay? Because my philosophy is always family first. So that was so important. All right, so now your company is running, you're set, you have your practices in play.
Hmm.
I come to you and I say, look, you know what? I'm looking to build a house.
Hmm.
What do I need to have? What do I need to do?
Well, the first question we're going to ask you is, do you own your own lot? Or do you need help finding a lot? Do you have a floor plan, or do you want to build one of our models? We are a fully custom home builder, which is kind of rare to find these days, an affordable custom home builder, because most of the builders, and it makes sense, you go in and you can only build those models because they're, duplicate. They just build one after another
Cookie
after
cutter.
another. Exactly. And it saves money, it saves time because there's no changes. For me, we have several models that we can show our homeowners.
Right.
They're all named after family members.
Oh,
I
cool.
have three children, so they're named after my two sons, Nicholas and Joshua, and then Madison, my husband, things like that. So you can come in and you can look at our models and you can move anything around that you want. And you don't really get that with a lot of builders. So, because it's your house and it's never going to be built before or again. And that's unique. And so we ask, what size house you're looking for, what's your budget, where do you want to build in. When I first started building in Sarasota County, I ended up moving over into Royal Palm Beach when this coast was kind of blowing up and I wanted a little bit of a different scenery. So Madison and I picked up and came over here and started building in Royal Palm Beach, and then we were in Wellington.
On
We
the
were,
acreage, I'm sure.
yep, we
Because
built
I
in.
owned an acreage.
Yes, we built in the acreage, which was not fun. But then, we were told, hey, Port St. Lucie seems to be pretty booming, and this was back in 2003, 2004, and they're like, oh, you got to come up here and look at some lots, and that's how I ended up getting up here. And so we really just focus on Port St. Lucie County. Fortunately, I'm at a position where I don't have to accept every contract that comes my way. So if it's too far away, we're not going to take into it. We'll refer another builder because I do like just being in Port St. Lucie and St. Lucie County. We're in Fort Pierce as well in a community called Pine Hollow. Those are 1 acre home sites. That's a beautiful community. We have 15 homes going in there. I'm also just recently started building in the estates at, we were in the estates at Windy Pines. That's almost sold out. And then Indian River Estates. And I had been asked about Indian River Estates, and I just never got over there. And it was very weird because, I want to say it was maybe October, November of last year, out of nowhere, in 1 month, we had 3 homeowners from the Indian River Estates area come to me. Yeah. And I thought, well, that's a sign. So we started building in Indian River Estates.
Well, St. Lucie County still has property. It still has land.
Mm-hmm.
Where 94% of Martin County is done.
Mm-hmm.
So very, very different, Martin County and St. Lucie County. Does it affect your business? Because go out to St. Lucie West and there's thousands of residential rental properties going up.
Mm-hmm.
Does that affect what you do?
So my clientele is generally a different price range from renters. We average anywhere between I want to say with a lot, between $450,000 to $850,000 for the house. So it's a little bit of a different clientele. Those buyers are usually selling homes, from Fort Lauderdale, Boca area, a
Right.
lot of New York, and they're coming here and they're paying cash, or they've got a pretty good sizable deposit, and financing isn't an issue. So I'm not really up against renters so much, I would say, as to homeowners that, are looking to buy build a custom home just for their needs, just for their family. And, I literally say, I'll build what you want, I'll build whatever you want to pay for. So
Right.
it's that kind of,
Well, and it's like
clientele.
that even in this industry. Hey, I want to do a commercial. Okay, well, we could do a basic commercial,
Hmm.
or if you want to fancy it up and customize it, then it's going to run you more. I mean, that's
Hmm.
just common sense, and
Yeah.
it's going to cost you more, so you pass it on. I mean, you got to pay your own bills too.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
exactly. And, and again, the homeowners that we pretty much work with are family oriented. They have, children, or it's grandparents who are retiring and moving down and building a home so their grandchildren can come and visit and stay with them. So it's not really so much as, a rental kind of category. But there are thousands of homes going up. It's
Right.
insane. And it's a trickle down effect because it is hard to find labor. Sometimes
Right.
prices are going up.
Supplies was an issue for a while, right?
Yeah, that was definitely an issue, and it's kind of sad because it's my daughter's generation. She just turned 25 in April, and all of her friends, they're all trying to find homes and build homes and buy homes, and it's
Can afford it.
no, and even the rent is challenging for them at that age. So, fortunately for Madison, our daughter, she's got a mom who is a builder and a father who's a loan officer. So, ironically, my father built me my first home when I was 25, and it was a Patterson model, which is one of our most popular models, and it was named after me, Patsy. So, Patterson model. And she just moved into her Patterson model and just turned 25. Yeah, so it was kind of full circle. It was kind of, funny on that. And my father passed away in 2020, but I know he's probably getting a kick out of watching that. So she's been working with me now. She graduated from FAU and early when she was only not even 20. And so she's been working with me now for, going on 4 years. And
Wow.
she did get a real estate license because
You know,
that's a good industry.
what? I mean, I've had my license for 35 years. I only do commercial real estate.
Hmm.
I didn't do residential; it just wasn't my thing. Someone comes to you, they want to build a house. I mean, what would be the norm size-wise for most people?
So, a lot of homeowners request around 2,400, 2,500 under air. 3-car garages are obviously popular, more so for like extra storage and such like that. But, what I have discovered is that, builders get charged by the square foot. And so when I look at a plan, I try to always value engineer my homes for my homeowners because I've built 2 homes. I've been in their shoes. It's very stressful.
Right.
Construction is not for the faint of heart, whether you are a builder or a homeowner. You have to be resilient. You have to have the right temperament. You have to have patience for sure because it's a difficult thing to do. And so they come to me and they say, oh, I want to build 2,500, 2,600 square feet. And I'm like, well, what do you want in it? A 3-bedroom, a 4-bedroom with an office. And if you can take a floor plan and kind of, design it so that it makes sense, you don't really need 2,500 square feet. Like you can design a plan that is very open and user friendly and meets the homeowner's needs and do it around 2,300 square feet, 2,350. And so sometimes homeowners have this size in their head and they think, oh, I have to have 2,500. Right. Well, you don't. You can actually get what you want for, 150, 200 square feet smaller. And when you're getting, a couple $100 a square foot that you're charging, that's a lot of savings. So it's fun to work with my homeowners on that way because I really enjoy the process of knowing what their dreams are and their ideas and trying to make it come to life on, a blueprint. and within their budget too, so that's the big thing, because I do have homeowners like, oh, I saw on Pinterest, I want this revolving shoe rack, and and I've seen all these really cool things, and as a builder, we're like, please don't look at Pinterest. Please don't look at that, because yes, you can do that, and again, I reiterate the same phrase is, I can build whatever you want to pay for. So
Right.
there's different things that you see a wow factor, but then you see the price and they're like, oh wow.
People are kind of funny because we always joke about we fill up our garage with $80 worth of stuff and our $80,000 cars sit outside.
That's so true.
Okay. And it's like, and it's, when I'm driving through a neighborhood and I see a garage door open, I see a car in there, I says, oh, did they have stuff to put in there?
I know, right?
Okay.
I know. I've never parked cars in any of mine either. Because, like I said, we've had 3 children, so it's always been sports equipment and bikes and things like that, and our cars sit outside. So
It's ironic how we see those things. A shed's not good enough because they're way too small. Can't put anything in the shed. All right, so we're getting close to the top of our time. So a buyer comes to you, potential buyer comes to you, says, here, this is the area I want to live in. This is what I need. And what you said was really interesting, and it's the reason that you should use a professional, is the fact that for me, my needs are going to be different than that person's needs. Like for me, because my wife is a very high-end chocolatier, she needs a big kitchen. We're never home, so the bedrooms don't need to be this massive bedroom.
exactly.
Okay.
Right.
Where some other people, I want this bedroom. I want to be able to put a love seat in my bedroom and a chair. I don't need that. Okay. If I'm going into the bedroom, I'm going there for 2 reasons: preferably to sleep.
Yeah.
At this age, preferably to sleep.
Yeah.
But the kitchen, I love to cook, and my wife's a chocolatier, so the kitchen is like the most important thing. So those things are different, because I don't need some of the other things that other people need. So just buying a house off the rack, for lack of a better word, okay, a cookie cut house, doesn't work. We looked, okay, and it's like, yeah, it's a beautiful house. I'm not going to take away from that. But it doesn't meet the needs that we need.
Right.
And the only way we're going to get what we need is to have things just rearranged a bit. And that's where you guys come in.
It's definitely a good niche I'm in. That's what a lot of my subcontractors say. Oh, Patsy, you're in a good niche right now because of that exact reason. I have built sewing rooms. I have built entertainment centers. I've built big kitchens. I've built garages where you can back your boat into, or high garage doors for an RV or whatever. It's all customized to my homeowner, and you don't get that with a majority of builders unless you're like up in $1 million range. Those custom home builders that you can.
But again, you're talking about custom homes.
I'm definitely like, none of my homes are duplicated, and that's the cool thing. And it does take longer.
Right.
It does take longer to build a custom home because, again, it's never been built before. So the entire engineering process of trusses and your energy calcs and all that stuff all have to be customized for that design. So, it does take longer to build a custom home. Permitting is never fun, no matter what county you're in, and every builder will agree to that. So again, that's where the temperament comes in. You have to be resilient and patient, and that's one of the things that I'm the builder, and my homeowners have my cell phone. They deal directly with me. My daughter, she does all of the color selections. Thank God I don't do that anymore. She handles all the color selections. We have a project manager who is on our sites every day. We have an office manager. We have an office. It's in St. Lucie West, right in the Water's Edge Dermatology Building, right behind Duffy's. I don't have a model because I'm just word of mouth, and I was talking to you before, I didn't even have a website or any social media. We were only referrals, just word of mouth and referral builder, and it was actually my homeowners who kind of came together and said, Patsy, you really need to market this industry. And they came in and they post my pictures. They are my best sellers.
And they stuck you here.
Huh?
And they stuck you here.
Yeah, exactly. And yes, and one of my homeowners like, oh, you need to come and do this interview, and they heard really good things about you. And so I said, absolutely, and my models, if I build your house is my model. And that is how I look at every single house. Is I say, you can have somebody walk into your house and they're going to say the same phrase. and they can say it two different ways. And, wow, who built this house? Or, wow, who built this house? Same phrase, it's just how they walk in and they say, who built this house? So your home is my model. And you're going to be selling it every time somebody new comes in. And that's how I look at my home. So
And that's how you made your company.
absolutely.
Out of that.
Absolutely.
We had a tough time. How do people find you? Have a phone number?
I do. It's my phone number, 561-719-7574. Or you can visit our Facebook page, which is PLM Construction LLC. And our website is www.plmconstruction.net.
And it's amazing that you know it because you didn't even have one.
I didn't. I actually have had to write it down on cheat sheets and keep it in my truck because I don't know it off the top of my head. So, yeah, it just pretty much it's my cell phone number. And people are like, oh, you're the builder. I've been sweeping out of my own homes, and they would come in and they're just talking, looking at homes. Random people come in and they always, they're, like to look at homes,
Right.
even
Yeah.
though they're not yours. And they'll walk in and I'm sweeping out the home or I'm picking something up or doing something. And I always like to hear their comments, and they don't know who I am. And then afterwards I'll introduce myself.
And I get it because testimony, nothing's better than testimony.
Absolutely.
I was at a networking event today, and I know we're running out of time. And one of the kids that was in here, he said, I came and I did a video. He was telling someone else, I did a video by Wayne, and that next week, he was a notary. It just blew up.
Mm-hmm.
And I had so many calls. So I said to him, you should be able to do fingerprinting too, because that would go well with what you do.
Mm-hmm.
But with that, everybody, this is the reason you want to use a professional. Otherwise, you're going to get what everybody else has, okay? And if you want something that makes sense for you, use a professional. It's PML Construction.
PLM.
PLM.
It's my initials.
I don't, dyslexic moment.
It's okay.
That's all right.
It's okay. It's my initials. So
Everybody use a professional. Have a great day. Patsy, thank you so much for coming
yeah,
on.
thanks for having me. Appreciate
Everybody,
it.
we'll be right back.